For 5 years now, Marine Log's Top Women in Maritime Awards have celebrated a diverse group of women for their outstanding professional achievements, whether they work shoreside or on board vessels. This year, we're once again excited to honor these remarkable women and recognize their contributions to the maritime industry. So thank you so much for joining us and celebrating their accomplishments.
I'm proud to be a woman in the maritime industry because it's a dynamic field with immense potential for innovative, creative thinkers who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty. I grew up the youngest of four brothers and one tough sister, which most certainly prepared me for working on deck. As a deckhand, I began spending every free moment I had learning all about boat handling, rules of the road. I was making locks and making mistakes, but the support I received from my company, from our crew, from the captains, and the local towboaters was unwavering and invaluable. They were hard on me. Some of those local towboaters, wow, they would call me out if I did anything, that they weren't expecting and gave me a hard time on the radio. But the day I came back to the office after getting my first license, several of the local towboat captains showed up to shake my hand and congratulate me, and that meant the world to me. It wasn't always easy and supportive, though I was never afraid to bring a woman's perspective. There were tense times when some people did not want to share the wheelhouse with a woman or report to a woman. That created, some tense situations. But a chief engineer I worked with once told me that the negativity and insecurity was more about them than it was about me or my performance. And that meant a lot to me, and it came at a time that I really needed to hear it. And those words always stuck with me. I'm proud that women have brought new perspectives, challenged the status quo, and continue to drive the industry to become more. I fully believe the more we focus on professional growth and collaboration, the value in everyone shines through. As a mother of 5 and a grandmother of 5 more, I want my children and yours to understand that they can be anything they want to be if they want to work for it. Working in this industry has been an absolute joy, and I'm excited to see what the future holds.
One of the things I'm most proud of being in this industry is being a small part of the change that has been occurring. When I first started sailing, it was very rare to see another female on a vessel, and I was usually the only one. It could be quite isolating at times. In the past couple of years, my past 2 companies, it's been about 50-50 female to male ratio, which has been pretty nice. And I feel like it's an important factor to be part of that change in our industry that is going on, and good for our younger generations to see. I have a daughter as well, and I'd like her to be able to think she can do anything. And she's been able to go on my ships with me, which is great. So being a part of this small change is something I'm most proud of.
I truly am blessed to be accepted as a leader in the maritime industry. I'm a second-generation maritime professional. My dad was a river port director, terminal operator, and railroad owner. So I thank my dad for my original interest in the maritime industry. However, my continued interest has been because of the stakeholders that I serve at Inland Rivers Ports and Terminals. The truth is, when the executive director position of IRPT first became available, the association wanted a male to fill that vacancy. So I do truly thank the association for looking beyond the gender divide and putting their faith and their trust in me, obviously a female, to lead the association. Together, we've successfully fostered healthy relationships that grow the maritime shipping industry, and we continue to share our passion and spread awareness through our passion. We are paving the way for cultural transformation. We're diversifying this historically male-dominated industry. But with all of that progress that's been made, still more needs to be done. My challenge to my colleagues, male and female, is to start normalizing the conversations and to create a safe working environment for women. Women face very uncomfortable situations with unwanted advances, some at networking events. Some are unintended yet awkward opportunities to continue the conversation beyond the event. Some of our colleagues need to be educated about the inappropriateness of these behaviors and the impact that those behaviors have on us as women in this industry and all industries. I would love to see more resources provided for women in maritime to keep them safe. Maybe it's best practices, maybe it's tips and tricks. These conversations need to happen early and often. I am proud to be a leader, to be a female leader in the maritime industry.
I'm proud of those individuals that supported and enabled me to advance in a non-traditional female path and become a successful and contributing member of the maritime community. But I am especially proud of the continuing prominence of women in this industry, whether shoreside or on vessels. I may not have always been the first, but I definitely know I won't be the last.
Serving the maritime industry is both challenging and rewarding because it operates at this really fascinating intersection of both history, complexity, and transformation. It's one of the oldest industries in the world, and therefore really it serves as the backbone of global trade and transportation. And because of the vital role that it plays to our society in this sense, the industry is really conservative and cautious by nature because it has to be, right? So prioritizing reliability and safety and regulatory compliance. But at the same time, it's no stranger to change, having successfully transitioned through multiple different fuel types and adapted to international political and economic shifts over the centuries. And what makes my work particularly exciting in the maritime sector is because this industry really allows for innovative transportation solutions to be deployed far more rapidly than in other industries. And that really creates opportunities to drive meaningful and large-scale impact. So really getting to play a part in introducing new technologies like alternative propulsion solutions and systems really builds upon our maritime industry's legacy of adoption and resilience while aligning with its future decarbonization goals. And although navigating the complexities of tradition and regulation and technical innovation is most certainly a challenge, it's also really deeply fulfilling to be able to contribute and hopefully shape not only the next era of this industry that I deeply love, but a global supply chain as a whole.
I think why it's so rewarding and challenging to work in this industry is that it's such an important industry for national security, for jobs, especially shipyards. They just are such pillars of support in their local communities. They provide tremendous amounts of national security. And so with that, it comes complexities and some other challenges. And I think it just really is trying to explain to people the importance of our industry, the importance of shipyards in the United States globally, and then the importance of maritime more broadly to our economy, like I said, to our local communities, et cetera. And so it's an enormous privilege to get to represent all of the men and women in the U.S. shipyard industry and in the associated supply chain. It's something that I take pride in every day, and I am so thrilled to be the voice of the Shipbuilders Council in Washington, D.C., and continue to be an advocate for this amazing industry that spans all 50 states.
The challenges of women in the maritime industry, in my opinion, continue to be the disparity in pay, disparities in promotional opportunities for women. Certainly for women who are at sea, the onboard ship conditions, those are things that I believe are some of the challenges of being a women in the maritime industry. And while yet those are challenges, I think the rewards are that those things are being recognized and the decision makers are aware of those things. And so promotional opportunities are becoming more available. Shipboard conditions are being addressed. So I believe those are also the rewards. I believe that some of the rewards are just the expansion of opportunities for women in the maritime industry. Shoreside, in the global chains and the ports, just all where women have a more prominent role than they've ever had before. Maritime industry has always been a white male-dominant industry for the most part, and it's just good to see the diversity. It's good to see not just from the women, but just overall diversity, and then the opportunities that are being made. So I think that as long as these opportunities, as long as these conditions and these challenges are being addressed, that's a reward within itself. I had a very promising and a great career in the maritime industry. I was able to get opportunities to work shoreside. I was able to go on ships, and I was exposed to a lot of different things. So, though that was rewarding. So I just believe those are some of the challenges and the rewards of being for women, especially in the maritime industry.
So I love being a mariner. I've enjoyed all the opportunities this career has afforded me, all the skills I've developed, all the places I've traveled to. That being said, we are historically a male-dominated industry, and that does sometimes still present its own challenges. However, my real focus is supporting all mariners, whether that be through mentoring, training, development, and really showing them the kind of career that they can have long-term.
I think one of the biggest challenges in the maritime industry nowadays is the shortage of labor. I know that industries all over the world are feeling the pressures of supply chain issues and shortages of labors, but it's at an all-time high in the maritime industry right now. That being said, I find that some of the things that I find rewarding about working in the industry actually offsets this challenge. One of them that I'm quite passionate about is Horizons Cadet Program. So we have the opportunity to work with schools and marine institutes to grow and develop a new labor talent. We can work with youth, and we can work with Indigenous groups. Not only does this help improve the labor pool, but it also drives economic benefits in Indigenous communities, and we find that quite rewarding. Another thing that I find quite interesting is the ability to diversify in all the different fields and the opportunities that present itself in the maritime industry. There are so many different fields you can work in. You can work as a research person. You can be in environmental. You can focus on safety, security. You can get into training. You can get into logistics and supply chain. You can be a seafarer, a crew member. And as we try to lower our carbon footprint, you can get into the renewable sectors as well. So there's just really endless opportunities, and I find that quite fascinating. The last piece to this is, it's a very close-knit community. I find myself again working with people that I started my career with over 20 years ago, and I have the utmost respect and appreciation for people who love this industry as much as I do.
The most significant impact on my career advancement has been the leaders and mentors who believed in me and encouraged me to really take risks, even when I didn't believe in myself. I was only 17 when I joined the service, and once I finished my training and was at my permanent duty station, my first sergeant was a woman named Sergeant Daniels, and she started submitting me for all these awards, and I was receiving the awards, and the guys were a little bit uneasy about it. Because I was the only female and I kept winning these awards. Granted, I was, in the service full time. I was taking college classes at the local university. I had a second job on the weekends. I was volunteering. And she, despite the encouragement that guys may have, given me, she really recognized something inside of me and wanted me to be praised for my good job. And it really, I was able to advance in my military career because of her. Fast forward to, where I'm at now with Phoenix Lighting. I didn't actually apply for a sales job. And the woman who interviewed me, Lynn Benishek, she, at the end of the interview, looked at me and she said to me, you'd be great in sales. And I'm like, who wants to be in sales? I don't want to be in sales. She saw a spark in me and she didn't want me to lose that opportunity to thrive at something that I could be really good at. I started my job in sales, and 6 months later, my colleague had took another position, and my boss at the time, Ms. Jackie Saldana, who's beautiful and brilliant, she said to me, you should take this job in sales as an outside salesperson. And I was discouraged by it, just the thought of traveling all the time, would I be good at it? And she looked at me and she basically said, I wouldn't offer this to you if I didn't think that you would be great at it. And it was just another opportunity where somebody saw something in me that I didn't even know I had inside of me. And I was really able to thrive because of the belief that everybody else had in me and encouraging me to reach my highest potential.
One of the most significant moments in my career advancement is when I moved from an individual contributor role to a lead role within my organization. At the time, I was working as a commercial operator, primarily focusing on marine day-to-day operations. A new opportunity arose to lead within operations. I recognized that this role would allow me to broaden my skills and visibility within the organization. Taking the risk was not without challenges, but I knew it was something that I wanted to do. I had to quickly learn the principles of leading a team, building trust, and managing stakeholders. I focused on fostering leadership attributes to ensure everyone's input was valued. Accepting this opportunity taught me that stepping out of my comfort zone can open doors for growth and reinforce the value of embracing challenges as a pathway to career development. I built strong relationships with colleagues across departments and earned trust of my team and senior leaders. A rewarding aspect of my leadership journey has been mentoring my team, new hires, and individuals interested in advancing in their careers.
I applaud Marine Law for recognizing women who are making contributions to the maritime industry, and am very honored to be included in this outstanding group of women. I was asked to comment on what has had the most significant impact on my personal career advancement. Without a doubt, it has been the encouragement and support of a few key people. Almost 45 years ago, Dennis Steger, the owner of Channel and Lynchburg shipyards, insisted that I take a job in the inland towboat industry and persuaded some friends who were leaving Ingram Barge to open the marine division of Torco Oil Company to hire me. Those gentlemen gave me, unheard of at that time for a woman, especially one with no background in nor understanding of the industry, amazing opportunities to really learn the business, riding boats to understand how the magic happens, making sales calls, participating in industry trade association work. Those early opportunities really nurtured an appreciation and a passion for the industry that has never waned over all of these years. I have worked for some other companies over the years, but for the last 24 years, I have been at Channel Shipyard, where Dennis continues to encourage and support my efforts. My own determination, enthusiasm, and genuine love of the industry and what it means to our country have served me well, but without a doubt, having someone in your corner nudging you on makes all the difference. I have enjoyed that since day one and am very grateful for what that has meant for my career.
Well, I started in the towboat and barge industry in 1993, working for Hollywood Marine. There were no women in operations at that time unless they were in more of an administrative role. In 1999, my husband and I started the Action Group, a maritime compliance and training firm. And we had 3 young boys at home. We realized that I had to go out and gain the experience necessary to backstop my reputation should something happen to him, so that I could continue the business and provide for the family. And with his support, I learned the boats. I honed my auditing skills. I became the first woman certified by the American Waterways Operators to conduct responsible carrier program audits. But I hadn't found my voice yet. I would walk into industry meetings and there were only 2 or 3 other women, and that made me very uncomfortable. I had to develop the confidence to step up to a group of men that were discussing ops issues and be able to hold my own with relevant conversation. I learned to form strong relationships with the one boat operator or the 100+ boat operator. I never felt held back, but I did feel like I had to be one of the most informed people in the room. And that took a lot of time, a lot of work. I learned the industry issues, worked with industry to find the solutions. I chaired the Federal Advisory Committee, Hogan-SAC, and chaired TSAC's Sub-M audit group. Began building those connections with Coast Guard and diving deep into the issues of the towing industry. All of that led to my role today as president and co-founder of the Towing Vessel Inspection Bureau, or TVIB. And our mission was to be the brown water solution for the towing industry. And in our 15 years, I think we've proven the need for us in the marketplace of third-party operators that conduct sub-M oversight activities on behalf of the Coast Guard. Our top leadership is female, and I'm very proud of that and the support that the industry has shown us. And I kind of finish with, my husband loves to say that you can find me on the deck of a barge in a pair of steel toes in the morning or in the boardroom in a pair of stilettos in the afternoon. I learned to maneuver all aspects of the industry and its issues.
I have to go with my parents. They have had the most significant impact, and in particular, my father, Bruce Dowdy, who founded Washburn and Dowdy with his partner, Bruce Washburn. My dad led by example. He led by hard work and determination, and he was relentless and determined to build the best workboats available. And he was committed to craftsmanship and keeping the business in Maine and working hard and always believing in his crew. And he developed a team that, many of whom are still with us today, who believe in success and building great boats. And it's going to be for the answer to your question, it's my dad, Bruce Dowdy. His example has had the most significant impact to my career.
Thanks to Marine Log for recognizing the contributions of women in the industry. For me, the most significant impact on my career advancement was being part of the talented team of naval architects and marine engineers at Robert Allen Limited. My passion for boats goes back to my teenage years sailing on the Black Sea coast, and this led to a lifelong connection with the marine industry. In the late 90s, when I decided to immigrate to Canada, Vancouver was the obvious choice, and my research resulted with the Robert Allen firm as my top choice. My journey from Varna, Bulgaria to Vancouver was a big step, and while challenging, it opened tremendous opportunities. I was fortunate to work and manage a variety of interesting projects and learn from great mentors. A few projects stand out for me. The Research Vessel Investigator was a challenging project that showed our team's capability to resolve complex problems and meet stringent vessel requirements. Also, the Tundra ice-breaking tugs for Canada, Sweden, and Finland were designed for extremely harsh environment and demonstrated high efficiency.
I encourage other women to consider a fulfilling career in the marine industry.
The most significant impact on my career has undoubtedly been the people that I've met in the maritime industry. I started my journey working on small overnight passenger vessels in Alaska, and honestly, I was just going to do one summer, but I stayed because of the people. I formed lifelong friendships. And I had this great manager who mentored me, and she was part of my career for many years and guided me as I worked my way up in marine operations. And then I always had colleagues and other leaders who supported me in pursuing innovative ideas in my various roles. I ended up working in business development and advertising sales and sponsorship sales, and now interior design, which I love. And also when I started my own business, the collaborative spirit of this industry was a key to my success. I got support and referrals from every corner, and it just sort of defined for me this spirit of family that exists in this industry. To any young woman that's looking to enter this field, I would say, while time at sea can be priceless, it's not the only path. There are women I admire doing great things in the areas of sales and marketing and construction and design and finance, insurance and law. There's this incredible network of women, and it's so cool to be a part of, where ideas flourish and opportunity expands. And I'm just so thankful that I stumbled onto this industry that summer so many years ago. I am beyond grateful.
Building and cultivating relationships has made a significant impact on my career advancement. The maritime industry can be challenging due to various factors such as distance, time zones, emotional stressors, and a lack of diversity. These challenges can often make it feel isolating, but having a strong support network has been crucial for my growth. Throughout my career, mentors have consistently provided invaluable guidance and encouragement. Their insights have helped me navigate complex situations and make informed decisions. Each step of my career has involved multiple individuals acting as sounding boards, offering constructive feedback, and pushing me to explore new opportunities that lie outside my comfort zone. Some of these professional relationships have developed into friendships and have played a vital role in my professional journey. By just sharing experiences and challenges, it fosters a sense of camaraderie. Together, we've celebrated successes and navigated setbacks, in turn creating a supportive environment where I feel empowered to take risks. This collective encouragement has not only helped me advance in my career, but has also deepened my commitment to fostering similar relationships with others. But uplifting one another, we can collectively address the obstacles that exist and work towards a more inclusive and resilient maritime community.
I am the child of a Greek immigrant family. My dad didn't get to finish school because he had to go work on his family farm, and he came to America at 20 years old with no money, didn't know the language, and he built a huge successful business. And the reason he was able to do that was because he cared so deeply for the people around him, his employees, his clients. He built a network that was the greatest treasure for that company. And so growing up, I knew how important that was. And I was also lucky enough that when I finished my master's and decided to go into shipping, I went to work with our family company, which has been in business since 1951 and had a built-in network of clients and trusted principals. But with my husband, we've been revamping the company and really evolving and changing along with the American maritime industry. So we broke into new markets, new sectors, and the reason we were able to do that was because of our network. We care deeply about our clients, we care deeply about our principals, but the place where my network has really proved to be a great asset is through WISTA, and that's both WISTA International and WISTA USA. As a woman in the industry, I was wondering how I was going to start a family and work 15 hours a day and never take a vacation and have a family. And sure enough, you sit next to the right person, you send an email to the right person, and you've got it all figured out. If you are trying to figure out how to move to the next level of your career, there's somebody in the WISTA network who's willing to sit down and talk to you. And I say this all of the time, but even through my own journey with breast cancer, it was my WISTA network who showed up for me and carried me through. Now, as president of WISTA USA, I'm so honored that I get to shine the light on all of these women. I get to build a network and promote a network and connect women so that their lives are enriched and that they feel empowered in our industry. So I would say to everyone, if you care about the people around you and you worry more about them than you worry about yourself, you'll always get what you give out back. So never, ever, ever forget how important your network is. Thank you.
Without a doubt, it's been the mentorship I've received and the opportunity to mentor others here at Highland. Early in my career, I had a boss and several senior marine underwriters who were incredibly generous with their time. They answered every call, walked me through complex coverages, and helped me understand the risk our clients faced. Their guidance not only shaped my technical skills, but taught me how to protect the maritime industry and its people. My career came full circle 7 years ago when I started mentoring our summer interns. That's when I realized my responsibility to the next generation, just as my mentors had with me. I focused on showing them the importance of truly specializing in the marine industry and how our role goes beyond policies, from helping businesses improve during their toughest times, improving their ROIs, and protecting their employees. What I didn't expect was how much these mentorees would give back to me. They brought such fresh perspectives that challenged me to think differently, and their view of me as a leader pushed me to grow into that role. Mentorship, both given and received, has been the cornerstone of my professional journey and has had the most significant impact on my career advancement to date.
I am honored to be one of the women recognized by Marine Log this year as a woman in maritime. And there are many pathways to get into this industry and many passions behind it. But for me, passion about the maritime industry is my primary motivator for everything I do, and it guides everything I do. I grew up on an island south of Detroit where the Detroit River meets Lake Erie. And when I was a little girl, the Detroit River was the second busiest waterway after the Suez Canal. Sort of hard to imagine that today, but that's what it was then. So I would go down to the ship and down to the shore. And remember when you were a teenager and you were filled with angst and worries? Well, I would go down to the water and just watch ships. It was soothing and inspiring. But I could not have gotten into this industry alone without the support of phenomenal people. And I'm particularly grateful to two people. One is Jim Lawrence, who is International Marketing Strategies, Marine Money, MTI Network, and more. And he took a gamble back in 1995 on hiring a woman who had a lot of advertising and marketing background, but not much maritime background. Well, that was really one of the points of entry for me into this industry, and I'm grateful to Jim for that. But as hard as I worked, I never fully appreciated what I was bringing to the table until Morten Arntzen, who was then CEO of OSG, said to me, "Carlene, I don't want to get work from you at 1 a.m. I need you to be well rested because I need your creativity." I'd never thought of myself as creative, but it opened doors for me. It created vision, or at least it gave me permission to have vision. And the vision that I want for the maritime industry is that it presents itself as the best possible industry it can be. And finally, I surround myself with people that share that vision, that shipping and maritime is the engine of global trade and impacts all of global society. How wonderful is it for all of us to be involved in an industry that touches lives everywhere? So thank you to Marine Log for this honor. And I'm just delighted to be part of a cohort of wonderful women in a wonderful industry that is fueled by women.